Welcome to Xtra presented by VDG Sports. I'm your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. Noobs, thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Hello, goodbye, but thank you on the way out. Regs, we back at it again. We do what we do. We do what we do. Nonverbal peeps, I haven't given you a shout out in so long, so I just wanted to give you the SO. I just wanted to do it, but I didn't have to because we communicate nonverbal, and you already knew. So I've been sort of MIA, I guess, missing in action, and that was due to a lot of intriguing and interesting factors, which I will get into. I don't think it will be today. I don't think it will be this episode. It definitely will eventually happen. See something, say something, yeah, but I need to give it enough time to breathe because I am still trying to recover. And no, this wasn't like anything that was life threatening or to that degree. It was a little bit more on the mild side, kind of like your regular thing that you deal with every so often. If you happen to deal with this before, it's normal. It's not abnormal. It happens. It occurs. It takes place. It does all those things that I just mentioned. But I need to give it enough time to breathe. Therefore, it won't be on this episode. But my regs, you already know what time it's almost about to be. It's almost that time again that I'm going to have to maintain this promise that I made to myself, not that one, but the other one, that I made to myself that I was never, ever going to let this happen again. I was never, ever going to take that walk of shame and have people tooting their horns at me, asking me questions that they knew the answer to, I knew the answer to, everyone knew the answer to, but just asking the question is like jokey jokes, and not the ha-ha jokes, but the he-he jokes. Those jokes. Yeah, I can't run out of the petrol. That's the promise I made to myself, that I'll never run out of the petrol again. And that walk of shame and having to walk to the gas station, having to walk to the fuel place to put fuel into a container and take that container and walk back to the vehicle that was on the side of the street, that I just couldn't make it. And it just would not make it because I miscalculated. My calculations were way off. Well, ever since then, I've gotten wiser. I've gotten smarter. And I've gotten smarter in the sense that, no, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and nor do I ever want to be. And if I am the smartest guy in the room or think I'm in the room, I am probably in a room by myself. And there aren't any ghosts or no one else around. It's just me in an empty space with walls that are probably bouncy. Now, I'm smarter because I trust my intuition. I go with that gut feeling. My anticipation game is on a level where I've never ever synced it before, and it's never been before. So I rely on those things when it comes to decision making, and I just don't get wrapped up in the calculations, wrapped up in the equations, wrapped up in the mathematics of the entire situation when it comes down to weighing the pros and cons and trying to figure out what to do and what not to do. Because if that was the case, and if I was still relying on that, I would have broke the promise to myself many, 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 many times over. Many, many times over. But I got to that point. Today, the gut feeling I almost ignored it in a certain way. The light didn't come on, the bells and whistles didn't go off, but I was in a position to just go ahead and do what I need to do. And let's get that fuel, get that petrol, get that gasoline. But I wasn't singing and dancing in a G-Rod, making my chest pop. I was listening to some tunes, but I was listening to some more kind of like focused, relaxing, almost hypnotic tunes. And I'm just in my zone, like really in the zone, really focused, really aware of everything and all things that are happening and that can take place and that are going on. And that's why I look at the indicator. I was like, oh, okay. I see you. We're gonna do this real soon. But today ain't the day. The day ain't the day. And I just waited before I made that decision, before I thought about it, before I went ahead and followed through with the decision that was made. I just waited for my gut to tell me to do something or to tell me that that's wrong. I was just waiting for the intuition to kick in and say, you probably should do it now. Or the gut to just roll around and kick up a fuss and let me know that, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right. I think I should do this now. So as I was waiting, I waited for about 30 seconds to a minute. That 30 seconds to a minute went by. Nothing was weird. Nothing changed. There wasn't any internal alarms, internal mechanisms, internal things that were going off to let me know that this wasn't the right decision. This wasn't the correct decision to make, that I need to change my decision. I need to do something. And that do something is, you know what you got to do. So you better do it now. Because if you don't do it now, and as you know, when you don't do what we tell you or suggest you to do, things turn out bad. Things turn out right. And that's my left, your right. That's my left and your right. I waited 30 seconds, minute. None of that occurred. None of that happened. And I was like, okay. But I really didn't calculate this out. I just kind of like glanced and saw, and it was like a mental note. It was like a mental picture that was taken. And I understood what I needed to do. I understood what needs to happen. I understood how much time I had, how much time I have before I have to make the decision, before everything is going to be need to be done. So I can maintain being a truth teller, so I can maintain the promise that I made to myself, so I can maintain all of the things that make me who I am, and who I am is someone who ain't gonna never run out of petrol again and take that walk of shame while people tooting their horns and ask me, do I need a ride? Knowing goodness well, I don't need a ride. I don't need a ride. And it wasn't as if I was embarrassed, because I wasn't embarrassed. I was disappointed. I was let down. I was disappointed and I was let down because all of my calculations, all of the thought processes, and all of the things that I use to make and determine decisions, it failed me. It failed me. And then I got to questioning myself. So that whole walk, the walk of shame, I was questioning myself and trying to figure out, where do I go next? Where do I go from here? Because if I can't trust my thought processes, if I can't trust my calculations and the pros and cons and how I come up with making a correct decision or not, if I can't trust that, where do I go? Where do I turn? Granted, the light bulb should have came on. The light bulb should have came on, and that little voice in the back of my mind should have whispered and said, intuition. But it didn't happen then. It didn't happen. This was later on. This happened a lot later on, because I had to make more incorrect decisions off of the processes that I was determining that were correct at the time. I needed to fail. I needed more errors upon errors upon errors before the light came on, before I figured it out, before I decided, you know what? This ain't working. Granted, and this is why I said early on that I can't be the smartest in the room, because I was the smartest in the room. If I was really, really extremely wise, it would have just took the one or two times, and then I would have been, all right, I get it. I understand how this works. And I'm going to entrust my decision making into intuition. Nah, it took longer than that. That's why I can't take credit for being that guy. I can't take credit for being that, because that just didn't happen that way. And I want to continue to maintain being this truth teller, because being this truth teller make me feel good. And I like doing things that make me feel good. And especially when it is goodness, for goodness sake. Although I'm not altruistic, although I'm still human, not a robot, even though many of you claim that I am. But hey, you can be wrong. You can be wrong too. It's okay. It's okay. But it's just that time. That time's coming up again. I'm not going to ask for an epic journey. I'm not going to even ask for an adventure. I think it's time, because it's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you without Anyway, it's been a long time since I've had that chaos, that pure chaos, that chaotic moment, those chaotic moments. I think it's that time again. And it's not that I'm wishing and hoping for it. No. It's just that it hasn't happened in so long. There's just this feeling that I have that it's going to take place, whether I want to or not. So I'm just going to prepare. I'm just going to prepare, get myself in that mind state or state of mind, depending on who you are. I'm just going to get in that. So when it happens, I don't have to get ready, because I'm already ready. I don't have to get ready, because I'm going to stay ready when this time occurs, when this time happens. Because it's been a long time since the chaos. It's been a long time since the chaos. And I tell you, the chaos is really chaotic, and it is something not to admire, but something to just sit back and watch from a distance. I ain't going to suggest eating popcorn. I'm not going to suggest eating popcorn, but sit back from a distance while drinking some high quality spring water. Hopefully purified. Anyway, thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the website at xtra.vdgsports.com. This episode was not being sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com. VinceDouglasGregory.com is where you can keep up with me, my whereabouts, my well-being, and everything in between. Basically, all things Vince. There's YouTube as well. Like, subscribe, share, or do whatever it is you do there. And that's VDG Sports. Comment too if you may, if you must. Comment too if you may, if you must. I was going to say something about trust, but nah, not this time. Not this time. Peace out. Yeah, see, I'm not going to even try. Not going to even try.